2 1 live.
Hey! Okay, Be Live, you really want us to go. We're here. We're here. We're here. We're here. Hello, everybody. This is the Zócalo. I'm Shar. You're Norm.
I am.
We're talking Babylon 5, all things Babylon 5, because this is the Zócalo. And today we are talking about B5 themed holiday gifts. Yes, you can do that in 2019. It doesn't matter that the show is more than 25 years old. There is new stuff we're going to talk about.
You know, if Star Trek fans can do it, we can do it, right?
Hell yeah.
Or Star Wars fans or whatever. Basically in today's day and age, whatever you want to find, you can find, and you can shop for your favorite Babylon 5 fan or yourself if you're your favorite Babylon 5 fan.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And like we were saying off camera, there's new stuff as well as the old stuff. So even though we did this last year, our longtime listeners might know that we did this in 2018, there's new stuff we're going to talk about this year. Holy whoa.
I know, and that's really super cool because for the longest time, there wasn't really any Babylon 5 products at all. So you actually had to go into the archive and go find the Babylon 5 collectible card game that came out like in the late 90s, or the RPG,
right?
You know, or all that stuff.
Like whatever you could get on eBay, the action figures, the micro machines, some posters, some t-shirts scattered through there.
Patches. But this is all kind of like surplus inventory that's made it to the secondary market in a way, like crew jackets, hats, things like that.
Right. Yeah, sometimes you can find real gems on eBay, but a lot of times it's just the same old crap that you can always find. So we'll talk about that as well as the new stuff. And of course, listeners, we know you're here. We want your comments. We want to know your input. Have you gotten any really amazing Babylon 5 gifts over the years? We want to know about all of it.
I had a decent collection of stuff. And during the course of some moves, I've had to like replace some of my stuff. So,
Did it get battered?
Well, sometimes you'll have like a box that goes missing, or your mom cleans out your entire closet when you're gone.
Oh,
Oh, I've
that
lost
happens.
So much stuff. I could have put at least one of my furries through college easily.
Furries. By furries, do you mean bunnies?
That's right. Bunnies, plural. I know maybe you guys knew that I had like one. Today, I am the proud adoptive father of Dos bunnies.
Dos bunnies. Oh my goodness. Well, congratulations on your bunny. What is Bunny's name?
Bunny's name, my first bunny is Pippin, but my new bunny is Buffy.
Buffy and Pippin. Mm-hmm. God, that's so damn cute. I mean, I'm just, oh my gosh. Bunnies, I just want to snuggle them.
They are very snuggly. They are very snuggly.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So you've been very busy with a second bunny and making sure they're bonding all right. And
like your cat boyos, like the way that your cat boyos are bonded.
That's right. I have bonded kitties, and they are in the room with us right now. See if we can get a good view. Oh. There's some kitties. There's a Lafayette, and there's Ro behind him. You can't really see in the light.
They want royalties. Get them off the camera.
Hey, look, we're not making hardly any money off of this show. I mean, really. Yeah. By the way, okay, speaking of which, merch.
Right.
Let's just get right to it. You know what? You want to get a last minute gift. I think you can still get a t-shirt in time, although, I mean, it's getting a little close, guys, so get your orders in quick. But we're stunning in purple tonight, you and I both.
That's right. And the thing is with TeePublic, our TeePublic store, you can order, but I would order right now or very soon because it does take a little bit of time for them to generate the artwork, print, ship, and then get it right there for the holidays. Because holiday season is just around the corner.
Oh my God.
And I mean, how around the corner are we? We're pretty much
we're darn near there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I know this because I work for an e-commerce company. I know that this week is just going to be a mind blower because one, we have at times tripled our typical volume, but now we're going to get all those last minute people who realize, oh, I'm in trouble. If I'm going to get this in time, I've got to pay for expedited shipping, priority, blah, 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 blah. And there's going to be a lot of demanding, probably cranky people out there. And thankfully, I don't have to deal with the customers myself, but I do have to deal with your order. So I'm going to be really busy And I'm probably going to be drinking a heck of a lot that coming Friday night because it's going to be an exhausting week.
Speaking of
which, we have Brivari. What are you drinking tonight, sir?
Oh, it's one of my staple labels, High West Whiskey out of Park City, Utah. No sponsorship intended. I'm just giving you the truth.
If only we had sponsors on the show.
I'm just giving you the truth.
We really should. I mean, all the alcohol companies should be sponsoring this show. We could give them a lot of recommendations in business.
And a few liver dialysis machines as well.
Probably. The way you and I can drink. I mean, did you all watch the Drunk History episode? We were hurting after that one.
Have you rewatched your performance on that? I've rewatched my performance.
I have not. Should I?
There's if any of you out there, and thank you for popping in, Daniel Keller, Terry Lynn, how you doing? Thank you for joining us. If you're watching us, and I know you are, make sure that you say hi so we can say hi back to you in the comments.
We love that.
But if you've ever been to a party where you are the designated driver or the person that just doesn't want to drink that night, and you are dealing with a bunch of drunken fools,
which we were that night that we did Drunk History. Watch
yourself. And you are the sober person dealing with the drunken fools.
Oh, dear. I mean, I knew that we started that show pretty lit, and it only got worse from there, but ouch. Sorry, guys.
It got lit.
It started lit, and then it got like firework, explosive M80. Holy crap, my brain can't even handle this anymore.
Yeah, but that was kind of the point, right?
It really was.
Yeah, challenge accepted, drunk history. Babylon 5.
And we were so drunk. I looked at the bottle of vodka that I drank from that night and just like, wow, a lot of it was gone. Oh, that's why I hurt that following day. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I had to go to work the next day, and so did you. And we should have planned a lot better.
So speaking of planning,
I
just wanted to let all of our listeners know that this show and next week's show are going to be our final two shows for the remainder of the calendar year.
Yes.
Right?
The decade at that. We're closing a decade.
Shut the front door.
Right?
Fork out.
I know. We're going to enter the 2020s. And you know what? I mean, I always want to think, hey, bigger, better, onward and upward, all the cliche phrases. But hey, you know what? We've got a good thing going right now. I have a feeling we're just going to keep right on going and making this the best that it possibly can be.
We're going into our very own season 3. That's when Babylon 5 failed, but we won't.
But did it really fail? I mean, It failed as its last best hope for peace, but then it became the last best hope for victory.
That's correct.
So, if that's the place we're heading right into, I am here for it, and I'm excited, and I think it's going to be a bang-up thing.
Terry Lynn, Colorado asks, what would you suggest for me to wear to B5 event in February and March? I suggest you wear a large coat big enough to stuff 2 people about our size. Right, Char?
Only if Terry can afford the plane tickets, because that's probably the biggest thing that's keeping me from going myself. I'm so jealous, Terry. I've got to be honest. I would love to be going to this B5 convention in the UK.
Yeah.
I mean, so many people have already signed on to go. It's going to be huge. It's going to be fun. Oh my gosh, Terry, have so much fun. I would recommend wearing comfortable clothing because it's going to be intense. It's going to be busy. You're going to be walking around all day. Do not do anything in the name of fashion. That's what I suggest.
Wear comfortable shoes. Comfortable shoes are your friend.
Yeah. And I would recommend having a bag with you of things like snacks, water, maybe a recharge for your phone if you're planning on taking a bunch of pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
And maybe a voltage adapter, because you never know, like if.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're going to get stuck in you're going to get stuck in the where you're going to need different voltage in that convention hall. Perhaps.
Right.
Depends on
Depends. Yeah, it depends. I don't know how American friendly the place is going to be. I've never been there myself. So to be prepared, those are fairly cheap. I'm sure you can get them on Amazon and problem solved.
You know what? Here's the thing. I have a hard time finding like Babylon 5, like official Babylon 5 t-shirts, like from Warner Brothers. And Warner Brothers doesn't really like pump the merchandise out anymore if they ever did.
No. This is old stuff.
But if I were going to wear a T-shirt that isn't the Zocalo cast, and I don't know why you would.
I mean, not saying you can't get them, but you can.
But and you can find those links in the show notes. But if you want to wear something that's Babylon 5 related that somebody's going to see from across the room, I personally would recommend the Babylon 5 shield and sword logo.
Good call.
Yeah,
that's a solid choice. Yeah.
Or you could wear Psycor, and then people would just steer clear of you.
Yeah, and I don't know, Tyrion, if you're crafty, if you're planning on doing any cosplay. The thing is, as cool as cosplay is, sometimes it's not the most comfortable thing. And also, it's a lot of freaking work.
Yeah.
So unless you're biding your time and planning accordingly, if you don't get it done, hey, don't sweat it. Wearing a T-shirt and whatever, and it doesn't even need to be themed for anything. Just be you. Just be comfortable.
And I think in this day and age, in the name of the game for Babylon 5 fans, if they see like a Babylon 5 logo, that's literally like throwing up a signal flare or a life rafter. Like, oh my gosh, Babylon 5 fan. Right?
Right. But if you're at a convention full of a bunch of Babylon 5 fans, you immediately have a whole room full of friends.
That's true. That is true.
So that's, yeah, you're going to be in very good company, and I hope it's an amazing time.
Yep. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, please report back. Let us know what you got to go see, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, all that fun stuff.
So aside from, say, T-shirts that you can't find maybe on Amazon and all that kind of stuff. Wait, we didn't do our toast. Did we do our toast?
We have not done our toast.
We digress.
Yeah, let's do our toast.
We digress like nobody else.
Oh my God, we're digressing so hardcore. It's because we were drinking before the show.
That's right. So, Val 2.
So, Val 2. As we do.
Whew.
All right.
Vodka pomegranate, ginger ale.
You know it. 2 parts vodka, 1 part pomegranate schnapps. Top it off with some 7-Up, and you are golden.
Sounds good. Let's see. So Terralyn says, no, was looking for suggestions for B5 stuff. What to wear? Already got, but there you go.
Yeah, got it.
So since we can't find certain things on Amazon.com, what can we find? The big ticket items for all of you who are looking for something special for your Babylon 5 friend or fan or whatever.
Or to suggest for yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there are newer things that have come out within the last year, since the last time we've done this, that you can ask for and or buy. I think the top contender is what I've got right beside me here, and that's this guy.
Yeah.
Becoming Superman. If you don't have it already, I highly recommend it. Get it in print. Get the audiobook narrated by Peter Jurasik. Get both. So it's worth it.
This is an interesting gift idea, because how many Babylon 5 fans do you think aren't Straczynski fans and just like Babylon 5 for the show? I mean, what do you think the percentage of that is?
I want to say that it's low.
It has to be, right?
I would like to think, because Babylon 5 fans, we're all pretty hardcore, especially if you're listening to this today. You have, at least to some extent, followed Straczynski through his career. If you've not seen everything, that's probably pretty par for the course, but you know what he's up to, and you're probably following him on Twitter if you're on Twitter and all of that. So, I mean, yeah, I want to say that there's very few people who don't at least care a little bit about Straczynski. And of course, a lot of Babylon 5 fans, you're probably wondering, if you have not read this book, how much Babylon 5 content is in there.
Yeah. And
here's the honest answer, is there is stuff, but if you're looking for a tell-all book that is just a consummate details of Babylon 5 and its production, this is not that book.
Right. And there are books, and we mentioned that on last year's gift giving show, but for those of you who really want to understand kind of where Joe's writing comes from, like a lot of what his inspiration was, and you can see that easily in very, very specific either themes or scenes or even direct quotes in Babylon 5, you have to read Becoming Super. You have to.
Oh my gosh. I mean, if you're even halfway into psychology, and if you want to understand where Joe is coming from, you're going to learn so much about why Joe's career has taken the trajectory it has, what inspired Babylon 5 and what inspired a lot of things in Babylon 5, and then everything that's happened from there. I mean, it's all this constant evolution. It all comes full circle. It's a beautiful story. It is oftentimes a brutal story. So trigger warning, tread carefully. If you need to take breaks, I highly recommend it. And no, it's not for everyone. Just because like we were talking with our guests from last week, Summer and Tim, and they were talking about how, you know, parts of that were just too much. Summer didn't read some of that earlier family life stuff because it relates too much to what she has gone through in her own life.
Yeah.
And I totally get that. And I sympathize with that. And I'm so sorry that that has to be the case. And I mean, that's unfortunately something that I think a lot of people might be relating to. So fair warning, just be careful. But yeah, worth a read. Well worth it.
And the audiobook is spectacular. You're right, Shar. Peter, who played Londo Mollari in Babylon 5, I think we all know that. I just want to reiterate that for people who didn't know.
And if you don't know, what are you doing here?
Right.
I'm being rude, but you know what? Dang, guys, get on.
Go hit up the merchandise for that other Deep Space franchise.
Oh my.
If you hear if you hear like thumping in the background, that's my bunny. That's Buffy.
That's Buffy the bunny.
She's thumping.
You should have named her Thumper.
I know. But don't worry, Buffy's just getting she's
she's a little attention whore right now, isn't she? She wants your attention.
She just moved in today.
I mean, you're neglecting her. How dare you?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah. But anyway, so let's back to so the audiobook, it's really good. It's a multi-disc set. If you want to do it, you can download it from iTunes. You can download it from Audible, .com.
Yo, Audible. Which when you don't feel like reading.
Which is me all the time. So I love. Taylor said, Norm, what was the book you suggested 2 sessions ago?
Ooh, that was a long time ago now.
2 sessions.
What book?
What book?
Please, we need details. We can't think that far back. A lot has happened.
Yes, I can't think 2 minutes ago, let alone 2 sessions ago.
Sometimes. And Daniel Keller mentioned the grocery list that JMS tweeted for you.
If you haven't seen that tweet thread, you got to follow me on Twitter, Lounge Lizard, and LAO, that's my last name, Lounge, LAONGE Lizard. And Joe has some really just ridiculously sharp comebacks in that thread.
Man, you do not mess with JMS. He will own you.
If anything, if you read his tweets, you're going to get some kind of glimpse or some kind of notion of how basically the quality of his book. The quality of his book is it just can't be overstated. And especially the audiobook, because Peter does such a great job of narrating, I think, Joe's intent. Because sometimes when you read a book, you don't really get the intent. But Peter's worked with Joe for so long, they're such good friends, that just the way that he retells the story and recounts his memories and kind of like puts that emotional emphasis and a very special introduction that you can only get
that's right
on the audiobook.
Yeah. So if you need any excuse to buy the same book twice, that is your reason. You do not want to miss that.
Right. Exactly. And
if you want to hear the Londo Mollari voice one more time, and it might be the only time.
Right.
And I will not tell you what he says. But you need to get it. You need to get it and you need to hear it. Now, don't spoil it, Norm.
I won't. I'm just saying that I'm going to kind of tangent off of a lot of the things that you can get if you're a J. Michael Straczynski fan that are kind of tangents of his work that's in Becoming Superman, such as you can buy his Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future DVD, which is a DVD compilation out there. You can buy He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, of which he and Larry DiTillio wrote together, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You could buy, you can buy the box set of something he did. It wasn't really that great, but it was called Babylon 5, a whole DVD set.
It's just a stupid TV show. Nobody cares about that anymore.
I mean, let's get off that and get to like a really good stuff. Like you can get, like Changeling that stars Angelina Jolie and directed by Clint Eastwood.
Dude, anybody wants to buy me Changeling? I still haven't seen it.
Such a good movie.
I know. I need to see it hardcore. I know. I do.
And one of the reasons why it's called Becoming Superman is because this isn't really a spoiler because it's well documented in his IMDb that he penned so many fantastic Superman comics. especially Superman Earth 1. Oh my God, so good. So
good stuff. Yeah.
So you can find so many of his actual works, and one comic book of his, one comic book graphic novel that I cannot stress highly enough, and this might be the one that Terry Lynn's asking me about. It's called
Midnight Nation?
Midnight Nation. Thanks, Char.
Well, you got me Midnight Nation.
It's like I said, I can't, like 2 minutes ago, right?
I mean, once the Brivari kicks in, all bets are off.
Yeah. So much stuff on the J. Michael Straczynski side of gifts for Babylon 5 fans that they would absolutely love.
Midnight Nation. I'm going to reread that going into 2020. It is such a beautiful story. It is well illustrated. It's got an energy to it. And I know that sounds weird, but it does. You get sucked in, and it's just this beautiful work all the way around.
Mm-hmm. Gary Frank, if any of your comic book fans, Gary Frank, he paired with Straczynski several times, and it's unbelievably good.
So very good. And again, in Becoming Superman, you're going to know the origin for that story.
So good. So do it. Read it. Get it.
Do it. Okay. What is the next thing on our B5 holiday guide?
Okay. So I'm going to try and lift this thing.
Do it.
We've already talked about this.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on.
Oh, so heavy.
Come on.
Okay. So last year, B5 Books put out the definitive 2-volume collector's set of Babylon 5, the encyclopedia, the definitive encyclopedia of every reference that they could squeeze into 2 tomes. Well, they're going to do you one better, because on Amazon, and only on Amazon, can you get this. The Babylon 5 encyclopedia.
The paperback version.
In one massive paperback.
Whoa.
Now, it is in black and white, as you can see, which it's okay.
And that's fine. I mean, on a budget, this is the way to go. Also, though, you can get it digitally if you want strictly that. Now, you miss some good stuff if you get it that way.
Yes, the digital version of Babylon 5, the encyclopedia, you do get to access a lot of kind of the high resolution files, either the still photography, artwork, behind the scenes schematics, things of that nature, and direct links to video clips, I believe, that have been the resolution has been improved upon. But I can't, like, for our show, and this is like no joke, and we don't get any kickback on any of our endorsements.
Oh, no.
We're kind of endorsing this. But this here is literally something that we have been waiting for as Babylon 5 fans for the longest time. You know, because if you're a Star Trek fan, you got the Mike Okuda, Rick Sternbach, technical manual. You got every possible technical manual under the sun for the original series, Deep Space Nine, yada 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 yada.
Oh yeah,
there were only like a handful of books that came out of this nature. There was the Mr. Garibaldi's Station Security Manual for Babylon 5, which was very good. It was okay, but nothing of this nature, nothing of this density, this tome.
This is it. This is the it thing for a definitive resource. This is as good as it's going to get for Babylon 5 as a resource, as a reference. If you don't have this, I feel like every Babylon 5 fan should have it.
Yeah, and I think that if you don't want to like throw down like the serious coin for the leather-bound 2-volume version, that's fine. I mean, everyone's money is
expensive. I get it.
Totally. And it's a collector's piece. I mean, that's like a cornerstone collectible for people who want that kind of cornerstone collectible. And for some, they were even autographed by Straczynski.
Some were, yeah. I mean, I did way back in the day when B5 Books was first releasing it, I did the payment plan because that's how I could afford it. It was like 8 payments over 8 months. And it's a chunk of change, but I tell you what, it is a beautiful work of art. That said, what's awful, Norm? I find myself not opening it up too much. I go on the digital version when I want to look something up because I want that thing to be pristine.
Oh, I totally get it. I mean, we're all,
But just like, why? I got the damn thing. I should use it and abuse it, right?
Use it, yes. Abuse it, not necessarily. That's what this is for.
Right. That's what the paperback is for. That's what the digital edition is for. You're right.
This is the kind
just,
of,
I'm a practical person. If I have something, I want to be able to use it. But this baby,
I'm thumping this book. You do not thump the Book of Jaquan. You can
you
thump
do not.
this book. Right? You can also put coffee stains on this, and no one.
I was just about to say that. Yes. So that's a newer thing that's come out. Also, a newer thing that's come out that you can get on Amazon are the Straczynski script books. All My Words, as they are called.
All my money is what it's called.
Oh my gosh. For real. There's 11 of these things, and it's every Babylon 5 episode or movie or what have you that Straczynski has written. Each edition is $29.99. So with each installment, I mean, you better have some serious Amazon gift card money. But you know what? Over time, I'm seriously going to work on this. I'm going to get them. And I'm going to study the crap out of them because I want to get back into screenwriting. And this is going to be kind of my gateway into it.
There's a great book that Joe also put out, and this was years ago, and this has nothing to do with like Babylon 5 or anything like that, but it was called The Complete Guide to Script Writing by J. Michael Straczynski. And here's a funny fact and God's honest truth. I bought that book when I was studying to be a comic book writer, and this is before I ever heard of Babylon 5 or any of that stuff, before I was even like a fan of hardcore science fiction. This was just, it was out there. It was like one of 2 books at Walden Books when Walden Books was still out there. And I was like, okay, this guy's telling me how to break down a script. It was awesome.
For real. And that's exactly what I intend to do.
Yeah. So nobody breaks down a script like he breaks down a script. Right.
Right.
Well, some do, but
I mean, why not
many.
learn from a master? Also, those of you following us in real time, I'm sending out links to the things we're talking about as we're going. So if you want to get a link to buy something or just check it out, hang with us. It'll show up.
So when it comes to things from B5 Books,
yeah.
So this Babylon 5 encyclopedia, again, it is direct print on Amazon. That's how they can keep the price down, because it is not technically warehoused or inventoried. It is printed by the Amazon process. You order it, they print it, you ship it, or they ship it.
Print on demand.
Print on demand. Thank you. But if you want to go and find some of like the hard to find, really, really premium collectible book merchandise, go to b5books.com. They have, I do believe that they had a handful of like behind the scenes books, like the Artifacts, the Crusade volumes, things of that nature. They also have these, and these are really, really very nice. These are these crystal placards.
Yeah, these are really nice if you're looking for some sort of display stuff for your B5 collection, I feel.
Just these really nice series of note cards in these, and they're magnetically not sealed technically, but they're magnetic connected. You see there's no screws.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Yeah, and I just keep them on my desk, and this is how literally I memorize some of the quotes that I memorize on a daily basis.
Well, they're there for future reference if you need them right away.
Yep. So they have just a myriad of different products. But again, these are a little bit more on the collectible side, so their prices are usually towards the higher end. But if you want that higher end merchandise, that's where you really need to go.
Yeah, B5 Books is the place to go for kind of the selective stuff, the good stuff, the rare stuff, that sort of thing. Also, I'm sure... Well, actually, I don't know for sure because I haven't looked at their website in a little while, but they have their Making of Babylon 5 DVD, which was like a CNN type of thing. And, they've got some specialty stuff, and you could spend a lot of money there if you want to. I think they've got some autograph stuff. Do they not? Or have they sold out of that?
No, like every once in a while, they'll find kind of like the Raiders of the Lost Ark crate. They're like, what is this in our storage? And then they'll pry it open. They're like, oh my gosh, look at this. What happened? This is where these all
Then there's
went.
a new thing. Guess what? We've got 5 of these. Come and get them.
The one thing that they did have, they got back, it was from a collector, private collection. And it was a signed poster of the Declaration of Principles.
Yeah, I really wanted that, but it was not cheap.
Well, I decided, it's like, I have 2 kidneys. right?
Norm, did you really?
Well, I almost rolled the hard 7, so
Woo.
or the hard 6.
Might.
Whatever it is. I'm not a
But
gambler.
I mean, it would be worth it.
Right? I mean,
oh, it's so pretty.
Stitches, Declaration of Principles, right there.
I mean, the Declaration of Principles, that's the B5 Constitution.
That's a lovely way of putting it. And I would have sold a kidney for the Constitution.
You know, I might have too.
I'm just saying.
I mean, I feel like I could use both of my kidneys, but you know,
we do now.
Really?
After what we do, I think
after some Brivari, that's how I feel. Is I need some kidneys, but really, it's the liver that I've got to worry about.
So let's go. Let's hit eBay, right? So eBay has a ton of stuff.
Let's go on eBay. You know, you never know what you'll find on eBay.
We flash these every once in a while, and they still come in mint condition packaging, and sometimes in the entire collection. And even in some collections, if you get the entire collection, you will get one of the rarest figures in that collection, and that's the Shadow Sentinel figure, the Shadow Soldier.
And I tell you what, you come across that, just click the buy it now button. Do it. I don't know about you, Norm. I do not have that, at least not at this point. Check on me next year.
The Shadow?
Yeah, I don't have it yet.
You know, when I was when Babylon 5 was at its height in the comic book stores, because I do believe that this was some type of exclusive to comic book stores or from a distributor or something like that, from Diamond Distributor or Alliance or whatever. But that thing was on the back wall in one comic book store that I used to go to in Paramus Park, New Jersey, and it was for like $275 because it came one to a case of cases.
What? So that's like a freaking Wonka bar with the golden ticket.
That's right.
Wow.
So if the case is 12, every 12 cases of the entire set of figures, you got one Shadow alongside of it. Thank you so much for buying from our distributorship.
Wow.
Yeah.
So these babies are really rare. You get one of them, they are your golden ticket.
Yeah. They were at one point in time, but you know, with all things, with time does depreciate value.
Of course, or does it appreciate? Because honestly, when you're looking for the B5 action figures, I mean, if you're selling them, you might be able to make a decent profit, depending on the condition. And especially if it's mint, people will pay good money for these things because there's nowhere else you can find them.
True enough. You know, it's also becoming a much bigger thing now, and I think it's because the technology is a lot better, is 3D printed props.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the 3D printing just keeps getting bigger and bigger as more people get access to that. Yeah.
So on Etsy, friends of mine on Facebook, they've said, hey, Norm, do you have this? And one of the biggest ones that's really, really, really popular, and it's gotten better and better and better over time, because you can buy old resin kits, like single inject molds, all these kind of things. It's the PPG kit, you know?
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the ones that they used to sell with the old versions were like cast resin, and they were kind of decent. You had to put a lot of work into them. You had to sand them. You had to fill the pits in. You had to spray paint it. You had to put the grips on them, all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Now, you just just say order, done, 3D printed.
It does its thing for like 10 hours. It takes a while, but it puts it together, and then it's a thing.
And if you're really good, Shark, you can start practicing like palming those energy caps just the way that Sheridan did. Because all we got, right?
Right. Honestly, though, you know what I think I might do is I might wait for a Minbari fighting pike. That's what I really want.
Okay, so there is this
video.
Have you seen that spring-loaded staff?
I've seen a couple videos of people playing with these things. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, they're ridiculous, and they're so cool.
Yeah, they're cool. I saw somebody do that at Combat Con in Las Vegas, and they flipped the switch wrong, and that thing opened them up like a can of sardines, man. It was like, he was just like, is that supposed to happen? I'm like, somebody get this guy a doctor.
Oh no. Like, what, did it hit him in the nose or something? What happened?
No, it was like, there was like a piece of like unrefined machine factory edge.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. And that thing, like, it just shot open because it's really like tightly spring-loaded. And I'm like, he's like, yeah, I'm bleeding. I'm like, dude, you're not bleeding, man. You are like flowing. Somebody get this man a Band-Aid.
Hey, that you live for the one, you bleed for the one.
That's right. Naroon would have been proud.
Until Za.
What else would you want in a screen? You know what I would love to have 3D printed,
What?
or if Eagle Moss actually did something with the license of Babylon 5, I would love to get the actual station. About this big.
A model?
A model.
Yeah, I would definitely go for that. And the thing is I don't like to have a whole lot of collectibles like that just for display, but I would get that because there is no such thing.
Right
Exactly.
Now.
Yeah. And I love the look of Babylon 5. It's beautiful. And you bet your ass I would spend some money on that.
The other thing that we were talking about with Tim and Summer the last show was Marshall Teague. I guess somebody manufactured a version of Talon's Katak, the ceremonial Narn warblade that he carried.
Right. Yeah, which sounds so incredibly just crazy badass. And then, of course, the dude actually draws real blood on the thing to make it even more badass. I mean, wow.
The guy gets into character.
Yeah. He's a method actor for sure. Yeah. And speaking of which, shout out once again to Summer and Tim for joining us last week. That was so much fun. We cannot wait to do it again sometime. We are planning on doing a show in 2020, early 2020, where we're going to all get together again and talk Crusade. And then when we've got the details for that figured out, we'll let you all know.
So also on your eBay searches, and this is something that if you're going to a convention, this is a great thing to put on your lapel or on your the strap on your carry bag or anything like that. You can get like different types of pins.
Ranger pin. I was hoping you were going there. Yes, you sure can.
So you can get the Ranger pin is a popular pin that's kind of replicated out there by a bunch of different vendors. You can also get, if you will, you can wear this and scare people if you want to.
Yeah, if you want to wear black and gloves, you could do that.
Yeah. So these are things that you can adorn your convention bag or whatever you're wearing, and people are like, okay, you took it one step further, and you're actually wearing an actual prop pin, something that they would have worn like a brooch on the show. You're a fan. Sure. Yeah. We can talk. We can talk. We're friends.
Right. Yeah. Right. If you can't make an Army of Light uniform, there are other options out there for sure.
And I've been looking. If anyone knows of a cosplay company or a vendor that can make any Babylon 5 uniforms.
Yes, please. You and I are both looking for somebody to do this because we don't sew. We're not crafty. And we can drop some money to make this happen because I don't know about you, Norm, but I would love to go to a convention at some point in the States. I can't go to England. Not right now. But I'd love to show up to a Babylon 5-ish event, or at least a panel even. Like when Phoenix Comic Con does their reunions, I would love to show up in an Army of Light uniform. Hell yeah.
God. That'd be so cool.
Honestly, if Phoenix Comic Con does some sort of Babylon 5, you know how they do their reunions, if they do something, anything in the future, that's only about a few hours away for us. I'm going. I want to go. I want to go with you.
So that was, then you could wear the Army of Light one. I'm actually torn because would I do that or would I actually do the Earth Alliance? I love the Earth Alliance uniform.
I do too, but Army of Light looks more comfortable.
No, you're probably right. No, actually, the Ranger uniform would be the most comfortable.
And then you get to wear that nice silk little thing.
Right?
I mean, that could be hot.
It could be literally very warm.
It could be too. That could be that too. And in Phoenix, that's not what you need.
But see, if somebody says, if they said like Intel Za to you as you're passing by, that they just dropped code on you big time, right?
And that's just a sign of respect,
right? That's the kind of flavor you want when you're wearing cosplay for Babylon 5. You know what I'm saying?
True that. So if you're gonna go for it, freaking go for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go big.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, Terry Lynn says she wants a Minbari White Starship. Me too. Right next to the Babylon 5 model.
Right. Exactly.
And I want it to have sound effects. You know how some of the older Star Trek Playmates figure models had sound effects with their ships? Like the Enterprise would go to warp and the Romulan Warbird would fire weapons and stuff. Dude, I want to hear the White Star ambient noise, just that humming, that hissing.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yes, please.
That's if you had a wish list, what would be at the top of your wish list for like Babylon 5 merchandise that you haven't seen yet?
That I haven't seen yet?
Yeah.
Boy. Honestly, I would love them in like a licensed usable Minbari fighting pike. I really would. And I would go take classes and learn how to use the damn thing. I really would. That would be my closest thing next to sword fighting, which is what you do.
That's super cool. I love it.
I would go to Minbari fighting training. Hell yeah, I would. And especially if the instructor's name is Sinclair, we've got a good thing going.
You would challenge Durhan himself.
Maybe I get a scar right about here.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, I really would like Eagle Moss to take a stab at least releasing some of the more popular ships. You know, like they probably won't do them all, but I would love to see like a Charlene class Minbari heavy cruiser. I would love to see Earth Force One. You know, that would
be cool.
Right?
Yeah.
I would love to see a Star Fury. You know,
just a whole lineup of ships then.
Yeah, I mean.
And just damn you, Warner Brothers, for not licensing out anything for Babylon 5, because I think, honestly, Eagle Moss would possibly go for it if there was enough interest and if they had the ability to get the rights.
I think so. I mean, there are a lot of great ships, but, you know, that's on my big wish list.
Yeah, a Star Fury would be pretty cool, too. It would.
Yeah. So what about you all out there? What's on your list?
Yeah, what do you want? Tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
Terry Lynn Colorado says, I think she was looking it up on eBay. 27 figures is $475. Well, like I said, back in the day, literally 275 of that would have been to one figure.
So, yeah, I mean, you either bought it in 1997 when the figure came out for its nominal fee, or you've got the massive inflated, oh, you can't fight it anymore, or you're going to pay more price.
Yeah, well, a lot of those things were kind of like, you know, that's how comic book stores made their money.
Pretty much. Yeah. Now, that said, though, a lot of times, you know what I like to do is I like to get the action figures that are not in their boxes anymore. They're still in relatively decent shape, but maybe some kid a few years ago played with them and then the parents are selling them off now that the kid's all grown up and doesn't care anymore. That's how I've gotten most of my action figures, you know, for $5 here, $5 there. And I've got a fairly decent collection, just not the really rare stuff.
And you know what? That's exactly what my mom did.
Hey!
So somebody out there that has like the entirety of the original TNG TOS Topps card line with all of the holograms, you're welcome.
Love it. You know what else I'm seeing on eBay, which is something else that I did? I'm seeing here and there some of the B5 novels.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, older stuff. And a lot of times, depending on the condition, you might either get them really affordable or they might be going for more than what they're actually worth. But a lot of times you can get a whole collection of them for a fairly decent price. Just watch things as they go along and then pounce when you feel like it's a good deal.
Jessica, thank you for saying that. All I want is the DVD set of the series, but I'm broke right now, so I guess I'll have to keep waiting. You know, one of the things that we didn't mention is that a great gift for somebody who loves Babylon 5 is an actual Amazon Prime account.
Yes, because then you could at least watch the digital version there. Now, granted, Amazon Prime, the digital conversion is a little wonky, but you know Babylon 5 already, Jessica. Just, you'll appreciate it, and you could still watch it and enjoy it. Now, that said, if you can get your hands on some physical DVDs, I do recommend it. I still feel like that is the best way to watch the show. Am I right?
Yeah. I think so, especially if you want to run the commentaries or watch some of the the data files and behind the scenes stuff.
Right. Now, in the meantime, Jessica, you can go on Comet TV, and even if you can't get the channel over the air, which in some markets you can still go online and watch it when they are airing Babylon 5. So you can still get your fix.
Totally. Yeah. And Comet TV has done a really good job at kind of helping the B5 fringe fans out there kind of find a little bit more of a foothold in trying to watch it. And Tim and Summer, they always promote what episodes are going to be played on their Twitter feed.
Yeah. Oh, Summer is very diligent about doing that, showing off their lineup. And you can catch Babylon 5 almost every single day of the week there, which is super cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. So that's pretty awesome. And that's also a fairly newer thing that's happened in the last years. Comet TV has really embraced Babylon 5, has really done a great job of promoting it and putting it out there and keeping it alive. So thank you, Comet TV, for not sucking.
So have you written to Santa Kosh and Asked him like, do you have a wish list? You don't have to say it, obviously, but is there a wish list that you have?
Really, what's at the top of my wish list to Santa Kosh are those script books on Amazon. I would love more than one, but even if I can only get my hands on one of them, it would probably be the script for Severed Dreams. And I'll just study the crap out of it.
So good. Daniel Keller said that. He goes, I want a good B5 poster to put in my room. Now, if you can see this one right here, this is by an artist by the name of Hugh Fleming. This came out probably in the late 90s, obviously, early 2000s. And one of my favorite poster artists of all time is an artist by the name of Drew Struzan. You've probably seen his work on countless George Lucas films. You know, he's done all the Star Wars films, all the Indiana Jones films, Harry Potter films, you name it. He's probably done it. That's what I consider, at least for Babylon 5 posters out there, probably the cream of the crop of Babylon 5 posters. It's phenomenal. Shar got me a version of that at one point in time for Christmas.
I think last year, right?
It was last year.
Yeah.
So it's a really, it's a fantastic poster. And it's, maybe you can put where you got that in a link if he wants to.
I got it on eBay. So watch eBay.
Okay. And the only other thing that I can say that's probably my top collectible that you could probably find on eBay is this guy.
The Jakar head?
So that is something that was done in, again, the late 90s called 3D Heroes. And it is a bust of Jakar from The Gathering. Not even like Jakar. It's like Jakar from The Gathering with, I believe he has both red eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would like to see a bust with a red eye and then the blue fake eye.
He does have that on the action figure.
Hey, look at that. That's a blue eye. Yeah. Cool.
All righty then. So what else, Shar? What else? I think that we've
that kind of covers the gamut of what you can get like right now if you're shopping on December 15th, 2019. Yeah, and this is a very dated show.
Yeah, like a lot of it has to do with online purchasing, obviously.
It does. Yeah. And once again, like honestly, if you're looking right now, purchase it now. Time is just running out so incredibly quick. Norm, I don't know how your holiday season is going, but I just feel like it's gone by so fast this year. I know Thanksgiving was late and I didn't do any early planning because I just wasn't that smart. But holy wow, I feel like this year is such a crunch. Just, wow. If you're in my spot, get on it. Get on it.
Yeah. If you're a late shopper and you're not big on the lines like a lot of us are, we're not big on the lines, and get on your online ordering very soon, because everyone's doing exactly what you're doing right now. And there is going to be a massive amount of truck shortages out there and delays in packages, weather delays, you name it.
Don't chance it. Like, do you guys remember in the States what Thanksgiving was like? Everybody's flight was delayed and travel was awful because blizzards were hitting all over the US.
Right.
I don't know if that's expected for Christmas. And as far as I remember, the USPS says December 20th. That's kind of their cutoff. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I guess one other thing that is on my wish list that I was just looking through is I still, and this is not a newer thing, I still have not read Claudia Christian's autobiography, Babylon Confidential.
And that's also you can find that on Amazon Prime.
Absolutely. So I'll post a link. And I guess, it's just all about, her life and growing up kind of. She started off fairly young in Hollywood from what I understand. And it's a crazy lifestyle out there. And she's been through some things. And of course, she does talk about her descent into dealing with alcohol addiction and getting over that with the Sinclair method. And what a name. Hello. Right. How serendipitous is that?
When she said that the first time, I'm like,
are you making that up, Claudia? That's what I thought.
Yeah, the C3 Sinclair method. Or 3C, not C3. 3C? C3.
C3, if I recall. Yeah, where I think you take a pill, right? And it just basically numbs you to wanting alcohol, where it doesn't do anything to you. So it breaks the pattern of abuse.
Right. Yeah. And that was there's also the Audible version of that too. So I believe narrated by her. So if you want to hear Claudia tell her story,
oh,
you can do it
I
that
didn't
way.
even know that. Well, I'm gonna have to do that.
Yeah, I believe so. I'm not sure if she narrates it, but I know that there's an Audible version of it out there.
Okay.
Yeah, but
if
I'm
she's
sure she
narrating it, I will definitely have to get that.
It would be interesting if she had obviously she wrote it and then someone like Pat Tallman like narrated it since they're such good friends.
That would be amazing.
Right.
Speaking of autobiographies, you know who I really want to release an autobiography? And maybe she has, but I don't know if it's in English, is Mira Furlan. Mira.
Start that Twitter campaign.
I know you like to write. I know that you have written things. You wrote a play, and we can't see it in the States. Please write a book for us. I want to hear your story in your words.
That would be super cool.
That's my message from me to Mira.
There you go. Wish upon a star. You know?
They're out there somewhere. You can't see them in LA.
No, this is true. If it is, it's just some type of gas reflection of something.
Yeah. You can see the planets, but that's just about it. Hate to say. That's something I do miss is you can't see the stars out here. Too much light pollution.
So have you gotten any of your shopping done?
I mean, yes, I have gotten a lot of the shopping done. Some things are still on the way. And, some things I'm just going to have to call up the family and say, hey, this is going to arrive on your doorstep on such and such a date. Merry Christmas.
Fair enough.
I mean, I've been kind of bad this year and I feel awful about it. So if anybody else is out there who can commiserate with me, please help me feel less alone. I'm not doing Christmas cards. I'm just really not with it this year at all because work has been overwhelming at times. It's all I've been doing.
And this is your first season at this new job.
Yeah. It's been intense. And, when things are just crazy and like, okay, real talk here. This last week, my mental health just took a massive dip down. Seasonally, I feel like just, tis the season and my brain likes to do this. And everything felt 10 times harder as a result. Nothing was wrong. Nothing happened. It's just the way my brain works sometimes. And I just have to deal with it. But goddamn, that was hard.
I'm sorry.
And I'm still tired. God. Yeah. A part of me hates this time of year because everything is just so, cram.
But just like golf, when you're slogging through like all 18 holes, you get that one miraculous drive and it's freaking golden.
Right. So I hope, I'll get that moment. It'll all feel worth it. There's definitely been good things that have been happening. So I'm grateful for those and I cherish that. And I'm trying to focus on those things as opposed to my brain just saying, oh my God, dragging my proverbial feet here. But, sometimes this time of year is not easy for people for a variety of reasons. And if you're in that boat, I'm sorry and I empathize.
Well, maybe that's something we can talk about on the next episode. It's kind of like looking forward towards the new year, New Year's resolutions. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Why didn't, I don't believe that they celebrated any specific holiday, at least human holiday that we know of on Babylon 5.
Not much. Ivanova celebrated Hanukkah.
Yeah.
I think that was about it. We didn't really get any Christmas references. The new year kind of came and went. It wasn't terribly ceremonious, if I recall.
Yeah, it was something that again wasn't celebrated like station-wide.
No, it's not like everybody gathered in the Zócalo and had a Happy New Year. No.
Exactly. It would be weird. It's like celebrating the 4th of July in England, right? That doesn't happen.
You don't do that.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. You don't do that.
Yeah, because honestly, the human year is that the same as the Minbari New Year and the Centauri New Year, and do they even care?
Right.
I imagine with the Minbari, it's a lot of rituals that take way more than one night.
Or like the Jaquan Eth plant, like the
right.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So everybody's got their thing, and it's happening year round. But yeah, that would be a good topic for next week, is just talking about maybe like what we're looking forward to, what we're grateful for. Let's raise some spirits.
Yeah, and talk like the year and recap, and then what we're planning on doing for the future.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Right and then on. We're going to take that last week off and
recharge the fusion reactor and
and then we'll hit 2020 on the ground running.
Absolutely. So if you have
Terry Lynn says,
what?
She says on Summer's interview that Mira had written her bio but was unsure of her writing. Oh, Mira, please. I'm sure it's beautiful.
I'm sure it is
Come on.
fabulous.
Publish that shit.
Get on that. You're going to have to start the Twitter campaign. She's on Twitter a lot, right?
Really? No, Mira's really not on Twitter that much anymore. Like
Okay.
I miss her, honestly. She used to be a lot more active and she used to just share stuff, but it seems like lately just I don't know. I get it. Like she's more withdrawn and I get that too, where like I don't really feel comfortable sharing as much as I used to anymore.
Yeah, I get that. It's also very it's kind of exhausting. You know,
social media really can be a drain. There are many times when I've considered just deleting the Twitter account. Being perfectly honest, I've gone back and forth on that so many times, and it's the one hell site I can't quit. I dropped Facebook, I dropped Instagram, all that stuff. And the one thing that keeps me on Twitter is fan communities. There's Babylon 5 fans out there. Terry Lynn, you're on there. We talk, among others. And then there's the Star Trek community. And then a lot of times that's how I get news. And for better or for worse, that's useful.
Yeah. No, I understand. I canceled one of my Facebook accounts. And then all of a sudden I started talking to my mom and she goes, "Did you see all the pictures that I posted from my last trip?" I'm like, "No." It's like, "It's on Facebook." I'm like,
yeah, it's like not everybody's on Facebook anymore. And I had to take a stand. I'm just really disappointed with the way that platform is conducting itself.
Yeah. And it's we'll stray away from the politics.
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to go into too many details. It's just that's why I can't be on that site anymore. I don't want to support that.
Yeah. So one of the things that maybe everyone that's watching can do for us is that when you join us next week, let us know like what your New Year's resolutions are going to be. If you have any, what you're looking forward to, how, what this year meant to you. Was it a good year? Was it a not so good year? Let's talk things out. And
let's hash it out.
One last great show for 2019. What do you say?
Yeah. Yeah. We'll go through the complaints and the grievances as well as our hopes and our wishes.
And maybe some
we'll balance it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be a good one. Please come with your comments. We appreciate you all joining us tonight, as you usually do. And you know what? Christmas is coming so very quickly.
And if you have any questions about any of the products that we've referenced on this show, feel free to hit us up. I'm always responding to Twitter. If people want to hit up the Zocalo cast on the Twitter feed, just let us know and we'll try and get some type of answer to you, whether or not it's the truth.
Yeah, you post regularly on the Zocalo, and then you can hit me up. My handle is the Profanity. That's my personal account. But Norm, you run our social media. You let everybody know what's up, and I appreciate you doing that.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And you can also hit me up on my personal account. That's Lounge Lizard, as I mentioned before. And then you can find us on all of our contact information in the show notes here. And please, if you like our show, please share, like, and subscribe. Make sure that you hit that bell so that you know of all the new shows that are popping in. If you are a rewatcher of the show, like if you don't watch it live and you watch it when you hear the bell ring. So anywho, so that's it. That's a fantastic show. I hope you have an enjoyable time out there shopping and getting ready for the holidays and all that good, fun stuff. And try not to stress out too much because you know what? Holidays are about just being with friends, family, and loved ones and enjoying the company of each other, not necessarily about stuff.
Yeah, indeed. It's really not about the stuff. And yet that seems to be the thing that we focus on the most. So maybe we ought to put things back into perspective, huh?
I think so. So, until next week, I've been Norm. She's been Shar, and be seeing you.
Bye, everybody.